That was funny.
Looks like we are live. Today we're going to talk about our biggest mistakes as new resellers on Amazon FBA doing online arbitrage. And definitely there are plenty of mistakes that we could talk about. But first, we're going to talk in the chat. We got RW in the chat. We got Raspy in the chat. It looks like Raspy is doing some accounting. RW is doing working on the spreadsheet for what to buy next. I spent a ton of time on that today. That's going to be some really good investment into your business. Takes a long time up front, but then on the back end, it works really well. We got NFT 2230 in the chat. Yo, I made it. Good to see you.
Yo, welcome. Yeah, I saw your comment on the other channel. Thanks on my channel. Thank you for coming to the live. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions about online arbitrage, definitely let us know.
Exactly. So let's get right into it. Biggest mistakes as new resellers. I think number one, I didn't sell on Amazon for like a year and a half. I didn't even sell on eBay for like 6 months. So I think that was the number. Like
where did you sell, Seth? The streets?
I was selling on Depop.
Oh, Depop. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that weird app?
Yeah, I've heard the traffic on there is not like the best. Like it's like barely a viable platform.
It's you literally have to it's like Poshmark where you have to refresh the items. You have to go through and refresh your items so that they're at the top of search again. Yeah.
Interesting.
Kind of nuts. That's where I started. It was kind of an easy user interface. So that was good at the very start. What would you say a mistake you made, Cody, was?
So really, like, I made so many mistakes with Amazon, and all of those mistakes happened when I didn't know how to read Keepa. that was it. And then once it's like you look at Keepa graphs, like the day that I was like, wait, the offer tab exists, and then like I was like, oh, so that's all you really need, and then the graphs are like, they're also useful. Was like, wow. And then from that point, I like really never made mistakes. Like, I've definitely made some mistakes. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, there hasn't been any like really bad mistakes like before, where like you buy an item, it doesn't sell for 6 months. Like that doesn't happen anymore. Like I buy items, they move.
Yeah. Actually, I noticed recently. Basically, in the last several months, I've made a transition from mostly used items to mostly new items. And I think I kind of had the idea that on a lot of listings, used was getting like 40% of the sales. And going back and looking at those ASINs now with the offer tab, goodness, some of them get like 5%, 10%. Like they still move because it's a fast moving ASIN, but like new just sells so much faster. And being able to see that through offers tab is kind of like taking the veil over your eyes a little bit.
Oh yeah. Like, and I think I've seen on some of the listings you're talking about, Seth, with the printers, like there was like one day specifically I looked at it and I was like, wow, these things only move like 10 units like used, but then they'll move like 1,000 new in 30 days, which is insane.
Yeah, like, and I mean, it depends on the printer. Like there are certain used printers that still do move incredibly well, but it's more like 10%, which is nuts. We got Raspy saying offers
tab for the win. Yeah,
exactly. Echo talking about the offer tab has been a game changer. It has been a game changer. That's it's been good to understand that a little bit more.
Yeah, before I like really dabbled in the offers tab, I remember watching one of Warner's videos where he was talking about you go by ratings and like basically say on Seller Amp it says, oh, this listing like it's a variation listing, right? And say it sold, Seller Amp says it sold 100 units in a month, and then the variations say one variation sells one variation has 50% of the ratings, and then there's two other variations that have 25% of the ratings. He did the math, and basically what he was saying was the ones that had 25% of the ratings would get 25 sales, the one with 50 would get 50 sales, roughly speaking. But since learned. I mean, that was probably a year ago since he made that video. But I since learned that like that reviews tab, like I never even really look at it. Like it's nice to look at because you can see, okay, this item got more reviews, it probably sells more. But the listing could have just been older than the other listings, so it doesn't even mean anything. The reviews, like they imply that there's been sales, right? And if an item has 5,000 ratings, it probably sold a ton in the past, but that doesn't necessarily like tell you the data that you actually need.
Like it doesn't tell you that it sells now. Like Amazon could have been in
Yep.
stock at half of retail for like 6 months previously.
I've seen new listings where it has no ratings, but it moves 1,000 times in a month, but it's just a brand new listing that's 20 days old. And you might look at that and be like, oh, I'm not going to sell on this because there's no ratings, right? Because people, they might think that ratings actually really matters. And they look at that and they're like, oh, I'm not going to sell on this. It doesn't move. There's no ratings. But then you look in the offer tab and you're like, wow, this is moving. It's been on Amazon for 15 days. And in the last 30 days, it said it sold like 1,000 times. You know, it could be something crazy like that. And it's just offers tab is game changer for everything.
Speaking of more mistakes as a new reseller, I think you made this mistake, Echo Flips, for quite a while, but probably I made this mistake for longer, which is when I sold on Amazon at the start, I did books for way too long. I did like thrifting Amazon FBA used books. It's a good hustle, but it does take a lot of time, and a lot of books do tank. Um, I mean, I was able to go full time with it. That's great. Like I'm happy for myself that I was able to do that. But the scalability of online arbitrage and even retail arbitrage is just so much better than books. What are your thoughts on that and your experience with that?
Yeah, so I mean, like I did books in 20 like my whole thing just going over real quick. I did books in like 2017 for like a little bit. I was like this is not it. And then I moved to doing other businesses. And then I eventually came back to doing Amazon but in a different way with OA. And I guess kind of just getting into it, like I feel like my mistake was I really pressed on merchant fulfilled so much that like I barely knew how to like create FBA shipments, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
I could kind of get by doing it, but I wasn't like the best at it. And then I mean, I really just focused on merchant fulfilled because that's what compounds your money more. But if I could like go back, I would do a little bit more FBA like at first, just to like really learn how to. Because there was like a month period where it's like I like had to sit down at the computer every day and I watched like lives about inventory lab and like I tried to figure out like what was the best way to prep and things like that. Which I don't know, I think easing into FBA quicker would have helped me scale a lot faster. Like just in general.
Hmm.
Because like literally just a few months ago I was basically like all MF. So
And Raspy here is saying, how important to you guys is actually being interested in the products you sell?
0.
Yeah, you feel like it's zero.
What you want to be interested in the item, Seth? If it prints money,
No.
we sell it. That's
Yeah, what
what
I was gonna say is like I think I'm more interested in the data that I'm looking at than I am in the actual item, if that makes sense.
like
Like I think the
like
data is fascinating.
like I've sold like men's diapers, you know. It's like
It's pretty cool.
yeah, if it prints, I went into this kind of like big side quest, but I went into Ulta the other day to try to find an item.
Like
Um
in person.
yeah, in person. I know rare activities.
Wow,
Wanted to do a
what motivated you to do that?
uh, uh
Just kidding.
it was a good item.
Beautiful.
But yeah, like so I went and I was like, wow, the makeup industry is insane. Like they're literally charging these women like $37 for like a little tiny bottle of makeup or perfume. Like, dude, like I'm like, there's some people making millions on this. You know, they buy it from China for like 15 cents. They sell it in the United States in Alta for like $27. Like that's that's
That's
insane.
nuts. Yeah.
That is nuts. I don't know
Women's
anything about.
feminine products cooked too. I thought he was talking
That,
about what you were talking about, but no, he's not. It's a
that's
shame
so
for
true.
women. That stinks. But yeah, I mean, there's literally so many things to sell, and like Cody was saying, you don't have to be interested in them. I like the data though. Like it's helpful if you can be interested in the data and like trying to nail down like, all right, how many do I buy? Like, what price am I realistically going to sell at? Like looking back once you've actually sold the item and being like, okay, like I ended up selling this for less, but it was still good ROI. So I'm going to do it again. And like making those choices over and over again is like really helpful for you in your um, journey. Plus beauty fees are less. I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
I
know
think
that either. I
electronics
don't
is
sell
too.
too much in beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, so I mean, think about like the products, like sell products you like. I mean, you kind of I feel like everybody they kind of gravitate towards something. Like I have a lot of prior knowledge with shoes, so I do sell shoes. So it's like, and then I do really well selling shoes because I just know so much about it. Like if you're, a woman and you're or man, whatever, and you're like super interested in makeup, like you're probably gonna be good at selling makeup, right? You know what I'm saying, Seth?
Yeah. And it's kind of like a way of knowing how to get the stuff too. Cause like getting shoes at a good price is different than
Yeah.
getting makeup at a good price, which is different than getting electronics at a good price.
And like knowing when things discontinue and like the cycles of certain things, like say for shoes, it's like okay, like they discontinued this model of cleat, it's gonna moon. Like things like that, like you can kind of predict or oh, I know they dropped 30,000 pairs on this shoe. There's an Amazon listing in 6 months. This shoe's gonna moon. Like you just kind of know. And by moon, by moon, I mean like go up in price. Um, but like same thing with the beauty, they'll discontinue a certain line, but like it's super popular, and those items will double or triple in price, and then you can hold them yourself, and then yeah, there's some people that make a living off of just the discontinued beauty products.
Discontinued stuff. I love discontinued stuff. It's
That's a
great.
fact.
Yeah. Another mistake that we've both made, and probably both of us have made this mistake, is not putting enough capital into the business soon enough or not reinvesting as much as we could. I don't know if you made this mistake, Cody, but for probably a year plus, I didn't put more capital into the business and I was taking a lot out for a long time.
I I don't know. It's kind of a hard one for me because I've really just reinvested pretty much everything forever. Like
Yeah.
I do take some out, but it's like whatever. You know what I mean? Like this year, I'm literally just taking the cash back out. Um, but I mean, you make a lot of you know what I
Cash
mean?
back is quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes quite a bit. That and credit card rewards, and like it pays for like all the expenses pretty much. So I mean, I guess you could say, oh, it took money out, but it's really not even like that bad. Um, I don't know, Seth. I don't know
That
about
is
that
a
one.
mistake that a lot of people make,
I
though.
I think this is like a lot of, like this is definitely not what the people want to hear, but it's like so important that like say you're just starting Amazon, and you don't have money, you have to figure out how to either find items where the ROI is insane, like just grind books, or you have to go get a job, work that job to pay for your living expenses, and then maybe use some of the money for that job to play around and compound it in Amazon, or like basically just have some other form of income that can sustain you so you don't have to touch the Amazon business for a year, 2 years, and by that time, it's going to be a huge snowball where you're making 6, 7K a month profit at least, right? You watch me and Seth's videos, and then right, and you hit the like button, and like you'll get there. Like that's really the thing. I think one of my big issues. Oh, you know what? Seth? This is actually like my biggest mistake was I didn't
Hmm.
invest in myself like at all.
Hmm.
Like I didn't. I watched YouTube videos and things like that, but it's like we don't even have courses, Seth. But I'm just saying, like, if I could went back, I would have literally just told myself you gotta like go do DoorDash or something like for 20 hours a day every day for like 2 months, and then also like set aside like $400 a month and just buy stuff, buy courses, buy mentorship, try to get it faster. Because if I had somebody to teach me what I know now, and they saved me 6 months time, and like say like that six like say like a 6 month period, right? Uh, like if you don't make money in that 6 month period, you're basically losing out on money. So if you're able to have somebody come in, show you how to do the thing, and then you can get results faster, you actually make more money.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to get at, Seth?
Yeah.
Like
I
I
feel like
failed for so long for no reason. It well, not necessarily for no reason, but like
it
just
feels like no reason.
because
Yeah.
yeah,
Even
it
just
feels
on
like
the
for no
education.
reason. Like
Yeah.
I really wish I could just go to my past self, like shake myself and be like, dude, buy everything. Like go set like you have the money, like you've been working doing this. You have like a grand set aside. Go buy all the courses, like literally like schedule a call with like just a bunch of different random people in the community. Network like that is free. That's also the other big thing. Seth was I had like zero network at all. I don't
I thought I
know.
was connected because I watched YouTube videos.
No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. That's the thing too. And like the people in the comments right now, like you guys can form a group with each
Like
other.
talk to each other.
Yeah, talk to each other because you'll get really good. Like Raspy, Jose, you guys all are showing up every night. Like, connect with each other, make like your
RW.
own small group, and grind, and you'll get there like five, basically 5, 10 times as fast. However it is.
Here's
A
a
very
little short story about that,
yeah.
and then we'll answer this question. In October of last year, I was probably doing on average 15K a month, with a bit of RA, a little OA, and some books. I decided to do social media. I was trying to post on Instagram as much as I could. I started a YouTube channel. I eventually got connected with a bunch of other sellers who are doing more in sales than me. And suddenly I was in a group chat with people who are doing 30, 40, 50K a month. And by osmosis and like interacting with them and asking questions with people that actually cared about me, because if they helped me out, I would help them out. Like I tried to help them if I could as well. Like December of last year, I did 31K and haven't done less than that since. So
Yep.
networking is so
Jo-
important.
Joining like a group, like whether it's like a cook group or like a Facebook group or any form of group will really help you out because those guys that are paying money to be in the group, they're serious. So if you want to buy in for the network, you can do it that way. And like with cook groups, you usually get some leads that are like all right. They'll at least pay for the group pretty much. So I think that's another good way to do it. Is just buy into a cook group. Or just really talk to people in free groups too. I mean, that free groups are completely fine, but
So Jim Trader 01 says, if you had 5K to start, how much could you grow that to in 1 year, and how would you do it? Well, you could take that two ways. You could say I have 5K and then I'm going to go get some credit. You could do very well from the get go if you have the skills.
yeah,
I mean, almost everyone can get credit if they want credit. Be careful with it, but I mean, you can get credit. Just be very careful and make sure that you are profitable without it.
yeah. So if you only had 5K, I would literally invest all my time into learning Keepa, and then from there, I would just start buying inventory, but going extremely wide,
Yeah.
right? Going extremely wide, see what sells, and then use the rest of your capital on the things that are selling and making you a profit. I wouldn't invest too much Like if you have 5K, like I wouldn't invest too much in software like
Yeah.
out the gate because you don't even know if you want to like continue to do this business yet. So I would just kind of like just basically take it like slow at first, go super wide. Find a few really good products by going super wide, and then um, to really like answer your question of how much you can make in a year, it really depends. Like how much are you willing to grind? Like you could say, "Oh, I have 5K," like 5K, and you go to do books, right? You could literally double that every single month with books.
Yeah, with books, you could go full time with 5K for sure.
But if you're trying to do OA with 5K, it's not gonna happen. Like unless your living expenses are like $200 a month, like it's not gonna happen. Like you know,
You could hunt
uh,
around for the really high ROI stuff and you could do it, but like no matter what you do with 5K, you need to keep your overhead costs low. Like maybe just Keepa and like one other software or something.
yeah, like
Maybe one other software, but just low overhead for sure.
dude, I feel like if you have 5K, literally just keep and then the paid version of Seller Central, and you can use the free Amazon calculator and just you inventory. I think investing in like a course or mentorship or things like that is a really great use of money in the beginning, especially because and we don't even sell stuff and like because it's going to save you so much money. That's really what I'm trying to get at. Because you could make a bad buy of $500, and then you're out $500. But if you bought like a $500 course, you're going to have the knowledge not only to not make that mistake, but also to make more money in the future. So it's like a really good long term W. Um,
And I mean, like starting with 5K is better than starting with like $500. But there is this point you can lose
yeah,
5K real fast. So start slow. I definitely would purchase very wide. Don't even spend $500 on one product. Just spread it wide and like keep your overhead costs low. Maybe invest in some education as well. If you
yeah,
could do books with your 5K, like you'll do great with 5K. That's plenty. Um, Jose is saying that's great advice, Cody. My wife and I have day jobs and we do this on the side. I see this as a long-term hustle slash business. Yeah. And I mean,
yeah,
like you're paying for your cost of living and probably some extra with your job. And then like you're just, it's almost like it's not equity, but at the same time, if you just sold out of everything, like you would have extra money and you're compounding it. So
yeah. I mean, I like is my thought process behind it is like you really shouldn't try to take money from the business. Like obviously you want to you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But the thing is like the longer you wait, it's like the delayed gratification. The longer you wait, the more you're gonna get. That's really how it works. And I mean, I think it is like nice to a certain extent to take some money out. Like I only took money out in the form of cashback payment this year, but it's like I bought like a new chair. I bought like a few things for the personal, and like it feels great. So I think like you got to dip into it a little bit, but like just like a happy medium. Maybe take like $200 out here, um, just to kind of like be like, oh, the business made this because you want to enjoy the money.
yeah, you got to find some balance somewhere. We got Christiana in the chat. Let's go. Good to see you. Speaking of taking money out of the business, Christiana and I are going to Thailand in February. So that is some treating ourselves
Oh
from the
yeah,
business. And we're
little
definitely checking
business
that out.
meeting, Seth.
What's that? A
Little
little,
business.
some social media content. Exactly.
Oh, social media content. Oh, that's what you're doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. All social media. We're going
Yeah,
to go.
every ounce of it. That's the reason why you're going.
Exactly. 1K is a safe amount to start. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a safe amount to start. There is the other side of that, though. Like, for example, I was trying to resell tickets earlier this summer and trying to learn that. And the ROI is kind of similar to Amazon. And so, like, I'm purchasing stuff that's like 20 to 50% ROI. And so, like, I was trying to start with 1K, and it's like, when you have that little to work with at that type of margin, it's hard to get yourself motivated to get into that flow of like actually finding a ton of really profitable things, you know? Because if you're just like, well, I spent my 1K, I have to wait another 6 weeks until I source again. That's hard.
Yeah, that is rough.
But it's probably good that I didn't spend much more than that because I wasn't that good at it either. So
This might I'm just gonna say, I think one of the best ways to scale when you're doing Amazon is to have so Amazon is an inventory-based business. You need money to make money, right? The more money you put in product, assuming that you know how to keep it and the product moves and you're making money flipping the product, right? The more money you put in, the bigger your business can grow. So, in my opinion, I think having something, and I like to say instant cash flow. So, this might be like kind of like a weird term, but for the way that I see it is like say like a job, that's cash flow just straight. That's you work, you get paid. That's let's just call it instant cash flow, right? If you have another business that generates instant cash flow, that can also help you accelerate the growth of your Amazon business. So say like say for Seth, for instance, he has coaching calls. When you book a call with Seth, you know, obviously he's gonna get paid because his time is valuable, right? But that's something that's an instant cash flow thing that will help him then use that cash to go into his Amazon business, and then he compounds it month over month. So I'm saying having something like a job, like if you can keep your job and then just grow the Amazon business, not be like, oh, I want to go full time, quit my 9 to 5, be all cool, uh, right away. Your business is more than likely going to grow a lot faster than if you just went headfirst into just Amazon. I'm not saying that's always the case, but it seems like that's the case for most people. What do you think about that, Seth?
yeah, I mean, capital is so important when it comes to an inventory based business. So let's say I kind of typed out a little thing that we can take a look at here based on if you are selling products on Amazon and getting a 30% return. So this is going to be based on how much money you have invested. So if you have $1,000 and you get 30% ROI, oh goodness, that kind of came out wrong. But I'll just verbalize it. $1,000 at 30% ROI is $300. You have software to pay for, you're basically a break even. 5,000 at 30% ROI, that's $1,500 profit. After software and stuff, if your overhead is pretty low, like you could be making 1,000 or a little bit more potentially. 10,000 at 30% ROI. Then you got $3,000. Like you can actually start to do something with that. 20 grand at 30% ROI. That's 6K profit. Like if you're doing things lean and with good margin, like you could do really well with that. And then 50K at 30% ROI, which gets harder to do as you scale. 15 grand profit is if you're able to do that. And then if you're able to do that at 100K, that could be $30,000 profit in a month.
That's like, yeah, that's like as on point as it gets.
So
I
it's just
think,
like, yeah, like
yeah,
at the lowest section, it's like, well, sweet, I made $300.
for having 1,000, which is insane. You put that in the stock market, it's not going to do anything for 2 years. I'm just kidding, but that's what happened to me. Like you put your money in the stock market, it's going to take forever to get that return. But you put it in Amazon, you know, you could turn $1,000, $300, so that's pretty good.
And
I think I think most people are in that like that range where say you had a maybe they don't have $10,000 yet, but I think where people want to get to is where they have $10,000 to $20,000. So they're netting from like 3 to 6 grand a month. I think that's where like
that's a very
90% of
respectable
people
goal.
just want, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can answer questions.
Yeah, we got on a monologue here, and there's a ton of comments we're getting to, guys. We got NFT saying, "How do you manage restocking versus adding new products?" I feel like this is a weird cliche in the Amazon community. Everyone is so hype about finding new products, and it's just like, how can I find new products? How can I find new products? Like, bro, restock the ones that you sold last month. Like I get it. And like, we always want to find new, like amazing ASINs. Cause like we could always use more of those. But at the same time, like if you go into your inventory lab, ASIN profitability and look at all time, there's going to be some killers in there that you could just go and restock today.
Yep. Doing the basics and the boring work of just restocking the stuff that's already working is so nice.
Exactly. RW says, Jose and I have been selling on the side for years, and it has paid for my vacation in Europe and a vacation home, so it can be great income, but expect more taxes.
And a vacation home.
Hey,
Let's go,
awesome.
RW. That's insane. That's
Heck
awesome.
yeah. The vacation is 10 days, but yeah, I mean, when you make money, like you just got to pay taxes. Like, fine. Just try and shield yourself the best you can. RW, congrats. Thanks for sharing. I find it inspiring when I read others are on the same journey as I am. Gets me pumped. Exactly. That's what these lives are all about. Just gathering a bunch of people who are trying to make money online together, hopefully helping each other out. Like, guys, be reaching out to each other, be reaching out to us. Like, let's help each other.
Yeah, I would love, like, if somebody wants to hop on the live, and then maybe we have, like, we start bringing on people that are regularly in the chat on the live. That would be really cool, and just kind of have, like, really just introduce, because, like, it's really just a whole community thing, you know?
Exactly.
You get to go on the live, then people DM you, and then you start building your network like that. I really just want to like putting people on just is awesome. Like, I love it.
Exactly. We got Jose saying $1,000 can be turned into 3K or so in a year at 30% ROI. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Nurse here doing it on the side, just reinvesting everything. Exactly.
That's amazing.
It's hard to keep reinvesting, but like, I find it's helpful to keep track over time of like how much I have invested in my Amazon store. You don't want to just have stuff invested in your Amazon store to have it invested. Like, it needs to move and turn, but
yeah. Do you ever look at the inventory evaluation?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seth, I went from like no FBA to like a ton of FBA in basically a month. And I looked at my inventory evaluation. It went to like $36,000. I'm like, I had like nothing in here before.
That's wild.
I'm not trying to like flex it or anything. I'm just saying, like, I just can't believe like the transition.
Yeah. I mean, you were doing all MF and now you're doing an MF and FBA.
Yeah, I'm doing both. I don't think I could ever leave MF.
Yeah.
Like, to a certain extent.
We got Taha VM Salem saying, any tips on online arbitrage? Specifically, what are you needing tips on? Is it the sourcing? Is it the restocking stuff? Is it the how to do prep faster? Yeah, I'm kind of curious, like, what stage you are in your journey of online arbitrage, and I think we'll be able to help a little bit better. RW, oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if they say something specifically, like, we can answer it. It's just like really broad question.
1K could be 3K in less than 6 months if you buy the right stuff. Yeah, you just have to buy. I mean, basically, wouldn't that just be? Let's say you get a turn of inventory every 2 months. So that's like a 30-40% ROI 3 times, right? No, crazy. No, I mean, that would be more. It would be more. Yeah. I mean, I can't do
math. like Seth, I think it really just all depends. Like, say you're doing books and you're say you're doing books and you're doing like fast moving MF books that you somehow doubled your money on. It's like you could turn 1K into 2K probably in like a week and a half, right?
Like 12 hours.
Is that realistic? No, but you could do it. Like, there's a lot of different factors.
Completely agreed, RW, especially if doing RA where you can get 100% ROI or more. Yeah, that RA stuff like can be really good ROI.
Very time consuming, but I mean, if you got time, definitely.
Exactly. Raspy saying, how important is restocking?
Very.
And we're just harping on this tonight. So important. Restock your stuff, guys.
But a lot of people don't talk about too, like if you have an ASIN, I've found that like say I buy 5 of an item and I'm on that listing and I sold 5, you actually have a competitive advantage over the other sellers
Mm.
if you keep in stock because you'll win buy box more overall. Like say you're on a listing and you have 5 and the another guy hops on the listing and he has 5, but prior you sold 10, you're more likely to get priority of the buy box from what I've seen. There's a few other factors you could say, oh, FBA, this and that, but I'm saying if everything else was the same, usually the person that's already been on the listing for a while will win the buy box. That's just been in my personal experience. Um, and like there's some listings where it's like nobody else can really hop on this because it's like I dominate this listing because I keep on restocking it every single month, and they don't even have the chance to get the buy box because Amazon, I think they see it as like, oh, this guy's been on the listing for a while. We really trust him. Like, why let these other third party people sell it?
Because he's sold it 22 times in the past and he's had no issues. Like that's exactly what
Yep,
Amazon wants.
exactly.
Yeah, what a good tip. And we have 11 people in the chat right now. Thank you guys for
Oh,
coming. If
let's
you guys
go.
haven't checked out Echo Flips' channel, go over there on a separate tab and go check him out. He has a really good YouTube, super knowledgeable about Keepa. We got RW saying I stopped using Inventory Lab. What? I'm just kidding. I'm
He's just
overemphasizing it, but I like
He's a
Inventory Lab.
spreadsheet warrior. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about Inventory Lab right now. I like love posting my monthly P&Ls,
Dude, you
but
can
it's
until like the 7th. You
dude,
have to wait until it updates.
Seth, I actually didn't know that last time I posted my P&L, and I was like, "Oh, I made like 10 grand profit month." But like I went back, I'm like, "It's a lot more than that." Because I didn't see this because I didn't see that extra 7 days. And then now my last month it still hasn't factored in 15 grand of revenue.
Yeah.
It's like 15 grand revenue off. I'm like, wow. I don't know if I trust Inventory Lab either right now, or like RW. So yeah.
Inventory,
Um
I feel like Inventory Lab is like a week behind because it only registers when like, so all those open orders, it
yeah.
doesn't register those. Like it
Yeah.
only registers them when they're shipped.
I've heard that
At
could
least
be
I
a
think
big
that,
issue.
yeah.
And for whatever reason, I had like 300 open orders. So I think
Yeah.
that's I think that's probably where the problem's at.
Yeah. I have 131 right now. It's just stupid.
Yeah, let me
We got Raspy saying, how much do you put away for taxes? This is probably the worst advice, but I keep it invested until like February and then I just buy less inventory. But it's kind of up to
uh
you. It's probably the bad idea, but
I have an emergency fund for the personal. That's gonna be the emergency
Netflix
tax
is
fund
just
this year.
gone.
Yeah, I
Either that or buy like Turo car or something like Josiah. But
yeah, I guess I could do. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like, if you're gonna want to like if you want to buy something to reduce your taxes, not tax advice or anything like that, but if you want to buy something that's an expense before the end of the year, so it's an expense in 2022, right? I would buy like courses, a new computer that you don't play Fortnite on and you only happen to use for business, right? You don't play any video games, but it just happens to have a uh, I forget the newest graphics cards, the
I
newest
got one.
generation
I got
graphics cards
a
in
new
it.
laptop with a nice graphics card because I
Yeah,
was so
you really
having
need
like
all of
15
that
tabs open.
that GPU power for your business,
Yeah,
right?
it was
So
only like 6 grand, but it's worth it.
yeah, you you
Not,
you need it
it's a
for
joke.
Inventory
That's
Lab.
a joke, man.
Nothing. What was that?
That's a joke.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
brand.
It's just a joke, but like I'm just saying, if you have something that you want to buy and it's specifically for business use, and it's an expense, I would probably buy it before the next year rolls around, because then you can expense it this year, as far as I know.
We got Raspy
But
saying that's a good question. What does he
it
use instead?
it
Go
also
ahead.
depends on how expensive it is too. Not tax advice, but
Yeah, just don't go blow money, but at the same time, like if something's going to make you more money next year because you purchased it this
Like
year, like great.
like what I just did, I purchased a it was like a social media course. It was like $500. I was like, okay, just because I'm gonna like I'd rather basically expense it now. I
Yeah,
got that, upgraded my computer, just random business stuff.
exactly. Um, yeah, maybe RW will respond, but RW, what do you use instead of Inventory Lab? Because I know for a while I literally had a VA adding up my transactions on Amazon, and that was do not recommend it.
Yeah.
I put away 30% each month off sales just to be sure. 30% of your sales. That's a lot
Of sales?
of sales.
I mean,
That's
I
like
could
more than
understand.
profit.
Yeah, I could understand profit. Of sales would be insane. Cause like,
You mean of profit? Because
yeah, I think he means a profit.
most people don't even make
Dude,
30% profit margin.
like, imagine if you sell $300,000 in a year. That would mean you put
90
you
grand.
yeah, you put like 90K away. It just I think
S&P Warrior.
oh gosh.
Taha is saying, what do you do when you add your items? What do you do when you're trying to sell inventory on Inventory Lab, but it requires you to send it to 3 different boxes or 3 different warehouses? Yes. So I hate that. It's so annoying. What I do is I literally just, um, if it has to go to different centers, I just, let's say there's 5 items going to a certain warehouse and then like another one going to another one. I just delete the odd one out. There is inventory placement, but it's still like splits for me oftentimes.
Uh, yeah, I think with inventory placement, don't they charge you per unit, like an extra fee?
They charge you per shipment. It's like $10 or something.
That's a lot.
I didn't find it worth it.
Yeah, I did that one time and it charged me like a lot of money, and I was like, never again. So what I like to do is case pack. I'm a big fan of case packing. Like I'll buy like 50 of something that moves from Walmart and I'll case pack that. So it's like they can't split it because it's a case pack. And I'll just like that's mainly how I buy. And then when I have a bunch of one-offs, I'll create a shipment and they'll get split and I'll just put them in separate boxes. I just, that's how I currently do it. And I just love case packing. I love buying like 10, 15 and just case packing. Like say I
You
have
can
an
do that with just
item.
10, 15 units.
Yeah, so like it depends on the item. Like I bought some figurines, they're like pretty big. And like in a Home Depot box, they only like 8 would fit. I could, get that 8 case packet, and then I could get the other 7 case packet, and the shipping cost isn't that bad.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, sorry. Most cases, 5 to 10% off profit. Okay, 5 to
Okay.
10% of profit. That
Yeah,
maybe
that's
even is a
pretty
little
solid.
low, but I mean, I don't do any, so I'm not one to talk. Taha saying just started selling on Amazon 5 months ago, made like 5K sales. So you're
Let's
like in the
go.
game. You've actually done like sales. You've moved stuff. So congrats.
Let's go. That's awesome.
Jose saying, do I have to restock before I hit 0 of that item to maintain some sort of buy box edge? I think you get the most if you just stay in stock, but it still helps if you like have sold um, like once, twice, or 3 times, and then you come back in stock. That's still helpful.
So the main I'll just hit the main 3 right now. It's there's some other factors that affect it, but being in stock I think is very important, right? Being a prime offer also helps, and then having a competitive price. Those 3 things are the main ones. There's a few other ones that do somehow influence it, but off of what I've seen, those are the 3 main ones. It also depends too with buy box. Like say you're on a listing with 2 people, like it's gonna be pretty easy to get buy box. But if you're on a listing with like say 100 people, then having a repricer is going to be extremely valuable. Maintaining a good competitive price, being a prime offer, and then being on the listing will help you beat out all those other people.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you just want to like have your price way too low and then it'll just get the buy box every once in a while. But repricers are great. Don't sleep on business use of home deduction when taxes roll around. It's a good point. Don't sleep on. Oh, he sent it twice, but it's that good of a tip. He can have it twice.
If you're renting, can you do that? I really
If you're
have no
renting,
idea. Yeah, like say you're renting a place, can you deduct part of it? Because
you would think so.
that's what I would think too. Maybe RW knows he's in
The
accounting, but I
thing,
know
the thing
that's
is
a little bit
like,
different.
I don't want to like to do that. You're supposed to like have a space where you just do work. Like
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't want to do that. I feel like,
Yeah. Like I could totally see you do the garage
yeah,
and you do everything in the garage and that's that's your straight business space, but be like, "Oh yeah, this room that I sleep in, but it also happens to have like a wall of Nike shoes." You know what I mean? It's a little kind
little
of
suspect.
yeah.
RW says, I'm an accountant. I track it myself. I see. Yeah. I mean, if you know how to do it better, like it probably bugs the heck out of you how stupid Inventory Lab is. It's like an acceptable bookkeeper, but it's like so helpful at the same time, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you have I mean RW, if you have any spare times, I know in the community there's a big demand for people like
Yeah.
not using Inventory Lab and they just want to track in a spreadsheet. If you could just like kind of like maybe have what you have, but obviously take all the information out and just kind of explain the spreadsheet, make a video, and then leave the template in the description. I think a lot of people would love that. I mean, I would love that. I think Raspy wants that. Um, so I just think it would really help out. I don't know if you're open to doing something like that, but that would be really cool.
We got
Just an idea.
We got Raspy. This live is very active tonight. We got 14 people in here right now. Thank you guys so much
Really?
for
That's
hanging out. I hope
wild.
everyone's getting some value from this. If
Thank
not,
you.
ask questions below. We will get to you. We're catching up still.
Yeah,
Yeah, we already did this one. Yeah,
wow.
30% of sales would be sick. I wish I could say that. Like,
Just
dude, like you're an inspiration. Like Joji would be proud.
we need Joji again. Joji's
Yeah,
so
Joji.
good.
Yeah, we should get him on.
Dude, Joji's
He's
gonna
usually free
blow up.
Saturday.
Dude, Joji's gonna like right now he's like the hidden gem. I could totally see Joji being like
I love his thumbnails.
yeah, you're like
They're so good.
I could totally see Joji's channel like blowing up because he's got the chill lo-fi vibes. It's just like his dad. I don't know. Like he's got it. He's got. I don't know. I just really believe in Joji. I don't know why.
Better be safe than needing to hit the backup funds. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Taha saying, what are your favorite places to get good deals at all the time? So for me, I do mostly eBay to Amazon, and so that is a little bit riskier of a business model. But if you're up for it, that's a great place to get stuff. Walmart's really good. Let's see,
Yeah,
where would I source if I didn't do eBay? I'd probably do a lot of Kohl's, honestly,
yeah. Kohl's is
because Kohl's
like
cash is great.
Kohl's is really good, but you kind of it's like like one of those things. It's like once you're in the mafia, like you stay in the mafia kind of deal. Like once you buy the Kohl's items, you have to then use that Kohl's cash to then buy more items with the Kohl's cash. Seth, like once
Yeah.
you're in, you gotta like keep on buying from Kohl's. So Kohl's is really good. Walmart's really good, and like I know that's not very specific, but I would go on Walmart and then sort by only sold by Walmart, and then go look at like the chocolates. Those always pop off. Like just go look at the chocolates. Go look at um, I mean, really just random stuff. Chocolates do pretty well. The grocery on Walmart's pretty good. Nothing crazy, but a lot of 15% ROIs that don't get returned because it's grocery and they move. So
Yeah.
those will help you out.
Target.
Walgreens is an amazing beginner
Yeah.
site too.
Walgreens has some really good sales. If you learn sales with Walgreens, you could do very well. I think that's another very valuable business model.
I think you can make 10K profit in a month just off of Walgreens sales. I
If you
really
just know
do.
how to do it and like see them coming and like,
Yeah.
especially if you know how to do like catch all emails and like discounts and all that good stuff. Target's good if you're not buying bulk. So at this point, you could probably do Target for a while. Um, RW saying what I don't need goes back into inventory. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Tadaha is saying, do you recommend buying from a return stock place? They sell things that are overstocked from Amazon. They're not returns. So basically, buying from a place like that is going to be very similar to eBay, where it is probably going to be higher ROI stuff, but at the same time, you're not going to have invoices for this stuff. So if you're up for that and you know the risk and you're willing to do it, you could probably make good money from that. But at the same time, it is riskier. So take that with a grain of salt. Just know
Yep.
the risk. How do you identify replenishable inventory? There's a couple ways you could do that. How would you do that, Cody?
I mean, it's really just stuff you sold in the past that you can still that you sold profitably in the past that you can still go back to that same site or a site like it, right? Or like say you find an item on Walmart and it's out of stock and you've sold it in the past, but you could go to Walmart locally and do like a pickup and then still restock on it. Replenishable items, just really anything you can consistently sell for a very long period of time. And like say they have it at Walmart, it's out of stock at Walmart now, but then Target has it. You could go replenish it, but you're replenishing it from Target. Or maybe like you say, they're out of stock all the time. I'm going wholesale. I'm going to the big boys now, Like you can I mean, like, hopefully, I think it kind of elaborated a lot on that, but really anything you could just restock and continuously sell month over month and make money, make profit. So,
And here's a thing that I think people misunderstand as well. Like if Walmart's out of stock right now, it doesn't mean they're forever going to be out of stock. Like you could check that link every day and
yeah.
like you could like some links you're just going to check 20 times and it's not going to be there, but then other times you're going to check it and 3 days later it's going to be in stock and you can just load up on it.
Yeah, for the 10 OG people that are in here right now, do the save to list on Walmart and then just check that every now and then. Because I have a save list and I have about 200 items in there, and every time I go to Walmart, I can spend like a grand, 2 grand because I look at the save list. I'm like, okay, all these are cooks because I saved them, and I just double check. And like, oh, okay, yeah, you just go and purchase them. It's really that simple. Saving the good items, going back, like what what says that? Going
Exactly.
back.
And that's like a cool variation. There's a ton of different variations of ways that you can do this and like try some of them and find a way that works for you and definitely restock those items. RW is saying Amazon is all about the prices. If you're too high or matching someone else just to match them, it's not smart. Yeah, I mean, Amazon, it's annoying, but they want the prices to be as low as possible for the customers, which is good. That I'm glad that they do that in the long run because it makes it the best marketplace to sell stuff on. How do home deductions work?
So
You basically, we're not tax
yeah,
attorneys,
we're not
but
tax people. RW's an accountant, so he would help out, but I don't know if he's a certified public accountant. So it's really just gonna depend on your situation.
yeah, I mean the basics of it, like RW is saying, have
Yeah, I
a
appreciate
spot
that.
set aside where you just do work, and then you can write off. Like, let's say your office is like 30% of your house, and you're paying 1,500 a month, so you'd pay 30%. It would be a write off of 30% of $1,500 every single month. But I don't even know the rates, so it might not even be that. So take it with a grain of salt.
I wonder if you can still like. Okay, maybe I shouldn't ask this on YouTube. I'm wondering, like, say you own a house outright, like you're not, and you have a space that you usually write off, but then now you're not paying for the house because you own it outright. I guess you just can't take that deduction at all.
It's a good question.
You see what I'm saying, Seth? So it's
Yeah.
like, maybe if
Maybe
you
I
have a
should pay off
business,
the house.
yeah, maybe if you have a business and you have a garage, you don't pay off the house.
RW says, I had a channel once and people complained, so I stopped, but I
What,
will consider it.
dude?
You got to
Yeah,
just tell them to F off.
dude. I post reels and like it's so funny. I love seeing like it's like 4 dislikes. I'm like, dude, this is hilarious. My first like 4 videos, all of them got dislikes. So just keep on going, RW. Just don't worry about the people. You know, there's gonna be haters that hate for no reason. They're not gonna show their face. They're gonna be the just trolls behind a screen. Just you know, provide the value, and the people will come. I mean, that's pretty much what these live streams are.
Tahaz
Seth.
saying tips to do online arbitrage for a beginner. Sourcing from those sites, very much so. Before you make any purchase, make sure you're using an FBA fee calculator. Like, make sure that you're not like buying something for $15 and intending on selling it for $20 because there's fees involved. That $20 is going to be less than $15. So make sure you're entering all the fees. I've talked to some people, they don't quite understand how the fees work, but I mean, you've done 5K in sales, so I think you know that. Yeah.
Look
What
at
are
the
your
offers
goals?
tab. Take every night when you're doing sourcing. Look at the offers tab. Do that every single night. Like every listing you look at, just look at the offers tab. It's a little intimidating and things like that at first, right? Don't worry about it. You'll eventually understand all the ins and outs of the offers tab. Really learn that, and that itself is 100K plus a year skill. Like that is the most important part to learning Amazon. That, and then with what Seth said, make sure the items that you're buying, you can buy and sell for a profit. Those are really 2 core fundamentals right there.
Yeah, and like just understand, like maybe if you've searched like 6 times and you haven't found anything, like it's almost like Amazon FBA books. Like you got to just scan the barcodes and scan a lot of them quickly. Like that's like you're gonna have to look at a lot of products before you find really good ones. Unfortunately, like it's not you're just gonna
Yeah.
find 1 in 6. Like it could be hundreds.
Another thing too, like I know what you're doing a great job with the 5K revenue. I just want to say that it's absolutely amazing. I think the thing is like you know how to buy and sell things, but now it's kind of finding these insane opportunities that a lot of other people aren't looking at by stacking methods. Kind of going into Jose's question, where he's talking about like yeah, he said, Cody, can you go over some strategies you can uh, consistently use when doing OA? And then he lists a lot of the things that I talk about all the time. Catch-alls, that's one thing, and it helps you basically say a site has a 10% off. You get that every single time with a catch-all because you insert this email and it just redirects to one email. So you can basically have unlimited emails that all redirect to one email. And then you get these, say there's a 10% off code on a site, you can use that every single time. So say you're getting 10% off using a catch-all, right? And then you look up on race.com, okay, on this site. So let's say Academy, for instance. Let's be realistic, right? So Academy has a 10% off. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a 10% off coupon. If you insert your email, you get 10% off. So you can use a catch-all in infinitely loop that. All right, let's get to the next step. So discounted gift cards. So you can look up Academy on Raise, see if they have a discounted gift card. For the sake of this, let's say they have a 5% one. I don't know what it is today. Let's say it's 5%. So then you're saving 15%. With tax exempt, I actually don't know if you can get tax exempt on Academy. You could call them. I know in store you can get tax exempt, so I don't see why online you couldn't. So say you get tax exempt, then you're saving. So say you live in California, you're saving 10%. So just off of those things, right? You're saving so much money. So that 10% of not paying the sales tax, and then those other methods we were talking about, you're saving 15%. And then the other thing that I would highly suggest, and I have it in my checklist if you guys go over to my YouTube channel, I have it in the description of my last live. and I have this checklist and it has all the Chrome extensions I use. The reason why I have a variety of Chrome extensions is, say I'm on academy.com, just continuing with the example, I'll select the one with the highest cash back. So say Rakuten's only paying out 5%, but Capital One's paying out 10% cash back. I'll select Capital One, and then I'll be able to stack all of those things together. And before we were getting 15%, now with the cash back, it's like we're getting 25% off of everything. So that's a really great starting point to try to find an item that's even semi-profitable with those metrics, and then you start to realize that everything's pretty much profitable when you stack all of these methods. I'm not saying everything's profitable by everything, but I'm just saying like you're gonna find a lot more profitable items.
Yeah, because suddenly like you find an 11% ROI product, but then you do all these things and suddenly it's like 35% ROI.
Exactly. That's the perfect sauce, Seth. That's literally the sauce. Like I'll buy items where it's like somebody would be like, oh, how's he making money on this? Is like a 8% ROI, but they don't see the 20% off gift card. You know what I mean? And then the 5% Rakuten that's stacked on top of that, and then I'm making a little bit on the item, but I'm saving so much money on the buy cost with the gift card that they don't see on the when you're just storefront stocking.
And then with like eBay, for example, for me, like I send a ton of offers, so like it'll already be the lowest on eBay, and then I'm sending an offer, and the seller like has had the item listed for like a long time, and they're just like desperate to move it, and like so I send them like a 60% off offer, and they're like, yeah, sure, and suddenly like much bigger margin because of that, and tax exempt. It's best to ask your tax person, Raspy. Cody, I'm an accountant, not a CPA, I think.
No, he said I'm in accounting, not in accounting. My bad. I assumed you're an accountant, I guess.
Embarrassed, Cody.
Yeah, my 37 years in accounting. I should be long. Yeah, I honestly I don't really know the difference if you're in accounting versus being an actual accountant. Maybe you have to go to school to become an I don't know. I really,
it's probably like some extra education
nonsense. Yeah, like maybe you need like a certain certificate or 4-year degree or one of those pieces of paper that we don't need, Seth.
We're so devaluing it, but for certain things like that, you need to know.
Yeah, okay. Like, what are they get? They need it, like you need to.
Doctor, like who needs to go to school? Just help the person.
4 years, Seth? I forget. You got your 4-year, right? You got your 4-year, right?
Yeah, I did my 4 years. Yep.
Dude, let's go, Seth. Let's go.
I did 2 years of masters as well, and then I dropped out.
You did masters?
Yeah, I was going to be a counselor. Like,
wait, you need a master's to be a counselor? I feel like
to be like a legit counselor. Yeah.
6 years?
Well, no. So it's like the undergrad and then like the master's degree on top of it. So yeah, it's a lot of education, and I think in the past I thought I needed education to do well with things, and then I realized I was in my internship of my master's degree, seeing clients kind of at the best place I could get. Like I really enjoyed the place, but then I didn't enjoy the counseling. I was just like, shoot, well, I just want this to be over so I could keep selling on eBay.
Seth,
yeah.
You ever think like you literally went through like 20 years of education in your life, and then now you just buy stuff on eBay?
Yeah, it's weird.
I know, right?
It makes me angry, to be honest. It's just like, what a stupid system. Like we're all taught to just like listen and remember things. Like BS, like do things. Like build things. Like you learn by doing things, not by like listening and memorizing
and creating stuff.
Exactly. Like real
and the network. That's the thing. And like that's the all right. I'm gonna offer that. So that's the thing in school that I think they really mess you up with. Is they're like, oh, you can't work with the people in this group and this and that. You gotta do this test and you're gonna be all by yourself. That's BS. Because in real life, the people that are eating, making good money in business, they're networking with all of these people, right? Like, I, you're just
Right.
I don't know where I would be without the network. Like I would probably be like sub 30K months, And now like I'm almost at 30K weeks. Like it's insane. Like the
I
networking isn't like it's insane.
That's the
you know?
sauce for real. Yeah, like this breakdown of like if you get good at those things and consistent at those things, like that can make you a lot of money. Like just find your consistent competitive advantage and like maximize that. California, you
That's a
need a
fact.
degree. We got Mike saying, any thoughts on using Channel Max Repricer for selling books FBA? So I know the guy, smartest seller, Scott Needham, who did 65 million in revenue in a year, uses Channel Max. And he has some repricing strategies. I have
Sounds
not
like
used
we should
Channel
use
Max.
Channel Max.
Yeah, I mean Channel Max, like I actually looked at it. It's not even expensive either. Um,
Oh really?
it's low key on my to-do list, but it's like switching repricers is a big time commitment.
That's also another thing. Like when I see somebody that's making more money than me, I'm
Yeah.
immediately like,
What are they doing?
all right, like let's just copy what they do and see if it works out. Because chances are, if they're making like 10 times what you're making, they're probably doing something right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
even if like you completely copy what they're doing, like you'll learn from it and you'll be like, okay, like I don't like this thing, but I understand why they use
We got RW saying, I use RW repricer. Is that the manual seller central change the prices?
it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I need to step up my repricing game. My repricing game is like adequate. Like it is just good enough to like make profit off stuff. Like it's much better than manual. It's much better than reprice it. It's better than the basic Be Cool. I use Be Cool AI. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to learn about repricing.
You know
You know
it.
it.
That's
Hell
so
yeah.
funny. Seth, I don't know how I feel about like like doing it like I just have this like control thing about like I have an item. Say I pay $200 for it. I'm gonna let some random software be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna dictate the price on that. Like that kind of sketches me out. Like I know you set the limits and like it's not gonna mess up, but like what if it does mess up?
It's only happened once to me.
Has it?
Yeah. I've sold, since I started using it, probably sold 650K in sales since I've used the repricer. It's happened once.
I just I get scared.
Fair enough. You got to get over that.
I
You're,
know. We all have
yeah, we
barriers.
do. I need to improve on a lot of stuff too, but my repricing game could be much much better. Actually, here's a thing though. Like you don't have to use a repricer to do well. Like I literally know a guy. I don't know if you guys know him. TDH Sneakers. He does like 150K to 300K a month with no repricer, like mostly shoes.
Seth, I was doing 50K a month, never repricer.
Yeah, yeah. You don't need it. I think it's
it
helpful though.
I think it depends though. Like if you're on a listing with a ton of people, like you kind of need a repricer. But like if you're doing items where there's like 3 people, it's like, I mean,
Yeah, but it still helps though.
it does help. It does help. I'm
Imagine
not
if you had
saying
a
oh you don't need
repricer
it,
and
but
like a couple of them didn't. But
yeah,
it's better for your type of stuff. I feel like you target the stuff where it's like kind of
it
obscure,
it's
kind of.
it's definitely important.
Yeah, RW says, I'm sure at some point I will need to use one. I mean, you don't have to, but it's good. I mean, literally, here's a story. One time I had a $205 monitor that I was selling from Walmart. And basically this repricer, you can set a range. So usually I just set my range at like, let's say I wanted to sell it at $200, $205. I set my minimum at $205, and then I set an above range. That way it can reprice up, and it sold for $245. Like, just because I put a range in, which is sick. And many other things have happened because of that. Repricers are a race to the bottom tool. Debatable. What's your thoughts, Cody? It looks like you have a couple thoughts brewing.
I just randomly checked my Seller Central. I'm almost at an 8K day.
Hey, congrats.
Dude, I did one like maybe a week ago. It's just crazy. That's the Q4. But that's like, I mean, I needed an 8K day because I literally, like, it's all on credit, bro. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Right.
I don't know what I would have done if it didn't pan out. But we know what we're doing at this point.
Exactly.
We're just really dope. Like, I keep on saying, like, coming out of this Q4 changed, man, for sure. Really pushing it. Like, I wouldn't have, like, I've been so scared to like leverage credit and things like that. And I mean, like, if you really know what you're doing, like, you're gonna make a ton of money.
Exactly. You just gotta make sure.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, congrats, Cody.
I know. If you guys haven't already hit like 8K days, things like that, like you'll be there. Like, it's
a matter of just spending more on inventory, like doing
that's a fact.
The basics, double the basics, 3x the basics, 4x the basics.
That is a fact. Reagan's here. Let's
Reagan
go.
in the chat.
The
Good to see ya.
The man, the myth, the social media
legend,
and the eBay, the Amazon.
Exactly.
Legend. Yep. Yeah, let's go.
I need to change my name to Rake and Flips to imitate my checkmate flips. Dude, the Rake and Profit's great. I like the Rake and Profit name. You even got the logo and stuff in the background too. I like it.
It'd be checkmate flips echo.
What if I did a checkmate profits and Rake and
that would be like I don't know if you can temporarily change your name. Like on April Fools, just like
just change it to
checkmate profits.
We got Echo Profits.
Bacon and check. I don't know. I'm just thinking Josiah. We haven't talked to Josiah in forever, Seth. We need to get all the.
He's been busy. He has like a new child, but like we should invite him on again.
He has a family.
He has a family. Sweater
profits.
Oh my word. Kuji profits.
So good.
This one's not a Kuji.
I might have hit the wall.
Oh my word.
That was just so funny.
Sweaty profits. You need money to make money. Exactly. Jose hit a 2K day on Thanksgiving and 12.5K overall in November. Let's go. Congrats, Jose. Sauna upstairs. Oh my god. Reagan has all the great tips, all the great names. I've so wanted to change my Amazon storefront name. You don't get this, Cody, because
is the sauna upstairs?
Because basically what happens in my house, I don't know if you can see the windows here.
Okay, yeah.
But like the sunlight comes in and like we keep the heat on from the morning and then we forget to turn it off. And then suddenly at like 2-3 p.m. it's like 75 degrees upstairs. And it's just like every day I forget to turn it off. But
oh wow. Sauna. Oh, okay, that's what I thought you guys went to a sauna. That's like on the second story. I was really trying to figure out what was happening.
Cody's so confused.
Congrats, Jose, on the 2K day on Thanksgiving. That's really sick. That's a turkey dinner right there.
Dude, so Jose, like seeing that, I feel like I know I had like for a long time, I would like streak hard when certain things hit the warehouse and then I'd just be like out of stock. Like it sounds like you had some really good stuff at the warehouse and like you potentially underbought on it. Like I've done that so many times.
Yep. I've done that way too many times. Like I'm to scale, I'm really kind of going deeper now. Not to like kind of sidetrack, but once you like read the offer stat, I think going wide is extremely important. But on some things, like after you get the reps in, go in deep on some items. Like you just got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to just keep building that muscle. It's hard.
It is hard.
But that's how you get better at Amazon, though. Raking Profit saying, I'd like to run something by you guys. I'm getting into a lot of new niches, and I'm curious, how do you guys prevent IP complaints, even if it passes IP alert and the Keepa looks good? Yeah, that's a great question. And a lot of other red flags to watch out for besides low number of sellers and the brand being on the listing.
Um,
Yeah, do you
yeah,
have any thoughts, Cody?
yeah. So one thing that some people don't talk about that I think is kind of slept on is they might not see the brand currently on the listing, right? But if you go into the offers tab, hit include historical offers, and then look at all of the people that have ever been on that listing, and then look for the brand, I think a lot of people don't do that
Yeah.
because, like, yeah, you could look at the current people that are on the listing, say, oh, the brand's not on the listing. But I think historically looking in the past, because the brand could have been on the listing and they're IPing people, but they just sold out. So I think that's one major thing that a lot of people really sleep on.
Yeah. Another thing that I've experienced, and like all those things are really good things to look out for, like low number of sellers, brand being on the listing, et cetera, et cetera. But also, there are certain types of items that if you type into YouTube, like, is this brand real? Is this fake? Like, there are certain things that just like get faked more than other things. And now that I'm thinking about some of my counterfeit claims, probably a good percentage of them are items that if you typed onto YouTube, like people have seen that some of them are faked. Like
Yeah.
there's videos made about it, there's blog posts about it. Um,
I think items that are a little bit more liquid are usually fake. Like I've encountered.
Toner, perfume.
Yeah, exact. Like anything that can be that's higher end that can be sold very fast, could be something that could, you could get a counterfeit claim for because you bought it and you didn't know it was fake, and you're like, oh, the margins are really good. I've seen fake consoles too. I had an instance where I bought $1,800 of a specific console, and they came in hand and they were all faked. And some of those things, like you just need to know how to legit check. I was like, I bought this before, and I can tell like the colors off. And then I got my money back and returned it, but
Hey, that's good. Yeah, I mean, it's almost impossible to prevent all of it. Another thing that you can do, like we talked about this the other day, I think, Steve, but just trying to sell a ton of units that are not going to have issues
yep.
to kind of drown out any issues. But that's easier said than done. Like it's hard to just put another like several hundred to thousands of units into your store every single month. Like it takes.
Another really good one is sell, like say you already sell some brands that don't IP, just look at the catalog of like those brands and see if there's any more good items that you can flip from those brands. And like just kind of, I'm not saying don't branch out, but like you can just, there's tons of products for that brand. You could just expand, in that brand
Yeah.
that doesn't IP.
Yeah, expanding your catalog is risky too, unfortunately. Everything's risky.
I mean, I'm just saying if you know they don't IP, then like
Yeah,
you're fine.
exactly. Oh yeah, what I mean is like expanding outside of those brands that you know are safe.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a little risky.
We got Jose saying that's where I am at right now, out of stock site. It happens to all of us.
Yep.
Like I heard people say like buy double the stock for Q4. Um, I if I could have, yeah, basically like it would have been better for me to like stock deeper on the stuff that I know was good coming into Q4 rather than like being super spread out. But that's easier said than
But
done.
but
You can
also
make mistakes that way too.
sometimes what if the listing gets taken down and you win
Right.
100 deep?
Yeah, and then you just have like
What do you do?
4K like in something dumb like that. Yeah.
Like, what do you do? I mean, I guess you could return it back to the retailer if you could still return it in time, if the retailer does accept returns. Like, it's
Not returning it for me. Like it's just not going to happen. Probably not.
no returns for that.
By the time I get it back from FBA, it's going to be like 70 days.
Thank you for showing up, Raken. I really appreciate it.
Faking profits no more, baby. We got Jose saying, I always thought Raking Profits was a fake YouTube guru. Seeing his videos lately, I've changed my mind. Dude is super cool. Exactly. Just because someone's good and good at like marketing doesn't mean that they're a fake YouTube guru. Like maybe they're just like good at Amazon and good at marketing. Like great. Yeah. That's a skill set. I stopped sending units in for 2 weeks because my wife and I were down with COVID. And so we totally missed the Christmas window. We're sending in again. Yeah. I mean, January. 1 second. But yeah, I mean, January still gets lots of good sales. So all good there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your health is more important too.
Right. Those were great tips. Thank you guys. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for stopping by. RW man is tempting, but I'm not ready for FBM right now. I came from an eBay background. Don't want to go ship my own stuff right now. Maybe mentally ready in 2023 though. Yeah, I don't really want to FBM, but
like, yeah, I don't want to FBM.
I just don't want to cash flow at all.
Yeah. Seth wants to grow his business, and he's waiting for the 401k, and
no, I just don't want to like be an hourly slave, you know.
Oh gosh.
RW says, Jose, I've been selling on eBay since 1997, so I hear ya. I'm 80% Amazon now. Got raking profit. I'm a goddamn jack of all trades. What are your thoughts about selling items with batteries in it, like tools and stuff? I think it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I do it all the time, but people are really concerned about dangerous goods. I kind of don't see why there's as much concern. Yeah, what are your thoughts, Cody?
I was just thinking about merchant. I was looking at my orders, and I was like, yeah, merchant fulfilled's worth it. I looked at my orders. I shipped 110 merchant fulfilled orders today.
Jeez, Seth. That's crazy.
I'm not being like, oh, Seth, I did this thing, and now I want you to feel bad. I'm just saying, like, the opportunity is insane.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I need to just stick to what I'm good at.
Yeah, that's completely fine too. Like, I know, I mean, it's really whatever works for you. And I'm used to MF too, I guess you could say. You know, like yeah.
I don't deny that it's a valuable skill. Like, I just don't want to do it.
I completely understand that. I hate making FBA shipments.
Fair enough. Jose says Seth sells dangerous goods because he's a dangerous guy and laughs at danger. Oh gosh. I appreciate that, but I'm a very cautious person. Don't you need to have hazmat approval to ship battery items? I'm pretty sure there's basically like a dangerous goods and then there's full on hazmat. That's different. It's a different whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody DM'd me about that, and they're like, I said something, and they're like, you're wrong. And then I thought about it. I was like, I'm definitely wrong. There's 2 different programs. So yeah, just read Amazon's. Just read about the programs and figure out what's it about. There's also YouTube videos and stuff. Cause like that's a funny thing too, Seth. Is like you've sold like 400. How much have you sold this year?
Around 660.
Jeez. Okay, so you sold 660 this year. And it's like I've sold, we're probably gonna end up at like 400K this year. So it's like we still don't even know all the programs, all these like ins and outs and intricate things. But that is a great opportunity, RW.
And thanks for coming, Jim Trader. Got to run. Thanks for the info, guys. You're welcome. We got Durf. Last question, then I actually have to head out. But do you guys have used books on your replens list? I have like 2. Yeah, I mean, there's opportunities there for sure. If you want to target it, like there's opportunities there. I just don't look very much.
Yeah, I
Do
set
you?
keep alerts for used books. I used to do that a
Mm,
lot.
yeah. Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for a super active, like tons of people showed up today. We had like up to like 10 to 15 people here, like asking so many good questions today. We had RW, we had Raspy, we had Jim, we had Jose, we had both Jose's, we had Taha, we had Rake and Profit. We had so many people here. Sorry if I missed anyone, but yeah, thank you guys so much for
What's
coming.
good?
We got Jose saying, Seth, geez, close to 750,000. Dang, congrats,
Yeah,
Seth. I appreciate that. Thank you.
that's what's up.
You guys are awesome. Get your Discord, Facebook
Good
group going.
group
Dude,
going.
need to do that. Great content, guys. Thank you guys so much and have a good rest of your day. Take care, guys. See ya.